Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Mena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Mena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurun Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna. So just a minute, we will just start. Hare Krishna. So we will start from where we left yesterday. It is 27th sloka of the 8th chapter in the 3rd canto. Mukena lokarthi harasmithena parispurat kundalaman ditena shona ithinna dharabhimba bhasha pratyarhayantam sunasena subra. Okay. He also acknowledged the service of the devotees and vanquished their distress by his beautiful smile. The reflection of his face, decorated with earrings, was so pleasing because it dazzled with the rays from his lips and the beauty of his nose and eyebrows. Purport. Devotional service to the Lord is very much obliging to him. There are many transcendentalists in different fields of spiritual activities, but devotional service to the Lord is unique. Devotees do not ask anything from the Lord in exchange for their service. Even the most desirable liberation is refused by devotees, although offered by the Lord. Thus, the Lord becomes a kind of a debtor to the devotees, and he can only try to repay the devotees' service with his ever enchanting smile. The devotees are ever satisfied by the smiling face of the Lord, and they become enlivened. And by seeing the devotee so enlivened, the Lord himself is further satisfied. So there is a continuous transcendental competition between the Lord and his devotees by such reciprocation of service and acknowledgement. So, so nice. This one, whenever we do any small devotional service to the Lord becomes very, very pleased with that, and he feels himself to be a debtor. He has to repay, but then no, the Lord's pleasure. No, by seeing the Lord's pleasure, the devotee becomes pleased, and by seeing the devotee's pleasure, the Lord becomes pleased. So that's how this nice reciprocal arrangement is there. Okay, text 28. Kadamba kinjal kapishanga vasasa swalankritam mekhalaya nitambe harena chananta dhanena vatsa srivatsa vakshastala vallabena. O my dear Vidura, the Lord's waist was covered with yellow cloth resembling the saffron dust of the kadamba flower, and it was encircled by a well decorated belt. His chest was decorated with a Srivatsa marking and a necklace of unlimited value. So paradya keyura mani pravekha paryasta danda sahasra shakam avyakta moolam bhuvanang gripendram Ahindra Bhogair Adivita Valsam. As a sandalwood tree is decorated with fragrant flowers and branches, the Lord's body was decorated with valuable jewels and pearls. He was the self situated tree, the Lord of all others in the universe. And as a sandalwood tree is covered with many snakes, so the Lord's body was also covered by the hoods of Ananta. So nice, this one of comparison of the sandalwood tree to the Lord's body. The sandalwood is, generally we crush the sand or we make the paste of the sandalwood and we apply it to the Lord in the summer season, because sandalwood has a quality of cooling, no? And we see that, the sandalwood, actually is very, very fragrant. And then it is, no, the sandalwood tree is decorated with fragrant flowers and branches. The Lord's body was decorated with valuable jewels and pearls. So the Lord's body was looking like a sandalwood tree, and it was decorated with so much nice, valuable jewels and pearls. And then the tree has many branches, and then it expands like anything. In the same way, the whole of the material universe, whatever is there, it's all expansion of this Garbhodakshai Vishnu, right? So about whom we are studying now. And then we see that the sandalwood also attracts many snakes. Why? Because sandalwood is cooling, and the snake is generally, because of its venom, because of the poison that it carries, it is generally very hot in its body. So it likes to be there in a cool place. So it comes to the sandalwood tree, where it gets some cooling effect. Hmm? So in the same way, the Supreme Lord also covered by Ananta Sesha. So it's all this analogy is perfectly matching with the Lord. Okay, purport. The word Avyakta Moolam is significant here. Generally, no one can see the root of a tree. But as far as the Lord is concerned, He is the root of Himself, because there is no separate cause of standing but He Himself. In the Vedas, it is said that the Lord is the Swashrayashraya, Swa Ashraya Ashraya. So that is a very, Ashraya means to take shelter. And where does the Lord take shelter? Swa Ashraya. No, he is, Swa means one's own. No, he takes shelter of his own. No, so there is no other shelter for him. No, we all need some shelter, to be there. But the Lord is Swa Ashraya Ashraya. He is his own support. That's the meaning of this word, Swa Ashraya Ashraya. And there is no other support for him. Therefore, Avyakta means the Supreme Lord Himself and no one else. So, okay. 630. Characharo Bhagavan Mahidram Ahindra Bandhum Shalilopagudam Kirita Sahasra Hiranya Shringam Avirbhavat Kaustubaratna Garbham. Like a great mountain, the Lord stands as the abode of all moving and non moving living entities. He is the friend of the snakes because Lord Ananta is his friend. As a mountain has thousands of golden peaks, so the Lord was seen with thousands of golden helmeted hoods of Anantanaga. And as a mountain is sometimes filled with jewels, so also his transcendental body was fully decorated with valuable jewels. As a mountain is sometimes submerged in the ocean water, so the Lord is sometimes submerged in the water of devastation. So in this way, we see that the Lord's body is, in the previous loka it was compared to sandalwood, and now it is compared to a mountain. And the mountain has so many peaks, and which is covered by some nice, like what is that, icing on the top, like that. So sometimes some mountains have a golden peaks, and here we see that the Lord was surrounded by Ananta Sesh, and he was having golden helmets. And many other features of the uh, mountain is also getting matched with this Lord's scene. Text 31. Nivitamaman amanya madhu vratashriya swakirti maya vanamalaya harim suryendu vaya vagnam agamam tri okay त्रिधामभिः परिक्रमत् प्रादनिकै Durasadam. Lord Brahma, thus looking upon the Lord in the shape of a mountain, concluded that he was Hari, the personality of Godhead. He saw that the garland of flowers on his chest glorified him with Vedic wisdom in sweet songs and looked very beautiful. He was protected by the Sudarshana wheel for fighting, and even the sun, moon, air, fire, etc., could not have access to him. So it's completely transcendental situation. So if we don't have air, we will die. No, we cannot breathe. But no, in the case of the Lord, so even no air, fire, sun, moon, none of them have access to the Lord. So they are completely. That means he is beyond the material elements. He is completely like in a transcendental position. Okay. And here, this is also amazing. The garland of flowers on his chest. No, they are glorifying the Lord with Vedic wisdom. So that's like amazing. So this is not no material thing, right? 632. Tarheva tannabi sarasarojam atmanama amba swashanam viyacha dadarsha devo jagato vidata natha param loka visarga drishtihi. When Lord Brahma, the maker of the universal destination, thus saw the Lord, he simultaneously glanced over creation. Lord Brahma saw the lake in Lord Vishnu's navel, and the lotus flower, as well as the devastating water, the drying air, and the sky, all became visible to him. So, before this episode, Lord Brahma was trying to find out the source of the lotus in which he has born, and he was going through the stem, and he found the water beneath, and he was searching and searching, and he couldn't able to find the root of the lotus flower. So now, since he has got, after he performed tapasya, he got the vision of the Lord, and now he is able to see that the whole lotus had grown from a no lake, and the lake is nothing but the navel of Lord Vishnu. No? Okay. Text 33. Sakarma bijam rajasopa raktaha praja sir sishrikshan yadeva drishtva hasthaud visarga bimukastam idyam avyaktavatmanyab abhiveshithatma. Lord Brahma, thus being surcharged with the mode of passion, became inclined to create. And after seeing the five causes of creation indicated by the personality of Godhead, he began to offer his respectful prayers on the path of creative mentality. Purport. Even if one is in the material modes of passion to create something in the world, he has to take shelter of the Supreme for necessary energy. That is the path of the successful termination of any attempt. So here we see that no, he did tapasya, and then he got the mercy of the Lord. Then he could able to take darshan of the Lord, and now he is clear of what is his root of his existence, that is Vishnu. And then he also got the inspiration about what he is supposed to do, right? So these are all some of the basic questions which everyone tries to understand, which everyone tries to understand basically, and that gives them a meaning in their life, right? So if this is not clarified, then it doesn't get any meaning in the life. So everybody wants to everybody wants to know like what they are supposed to do, know what is their role, and what is their job description, and where they have come from, where they are going to go. So all these things, when it becomes clarified, so then they become very confident, and they become very clear in their thought process. So now, before this, Brahma was not knowing from where he has born, and what is the root of his creation, and what is his purpose, why is he existing over there at all. He doesn't know anything. So he is like completely bewildered, and he was searching everywhere, and then finally he could able to get the darshan of the Lord, and he could able to get the right kind of inspiration about what is his duty, right? So in that way, so now understanding all these things, now Brahma is going to execute his duties, and just to execute his duties, no, he is praying. He starts to pray to the Lord. No, after offering a prayer to the Lord, So no, and then seeking the blessings and energy to do his job. So then he will start his creation. Okay. So that's in the Bhaktivedanta purport of the third canto, eighth chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Manifestation of Brahma from Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. Okay. Chapter 9, Brahma's prayers for creative energy. It's a very, very nice chapter. I fondly remember this when I was reading for the first time. It was really amazing. Brahma is praying to the Lord, in concern for all the living entities, and how he is concerned that they are all not taking up Krishna consciousness. And the moment the creation starts, everybody starts getting busy in their own life, and they are not paying attention to Krishna consciousness. The whole purpose of creation is so that people will take interest in Krishna consciousness, and then they will go back to the spiritual world. But then Brahma just creates, and the moment creation happens, everybody becomes busy in their sense gratification, right? So then he actually laments for that also. So anyways, we will see this thing. Text 1 of chapter 9. ब्रह्मवाच ज्ञातोऽस्मि मेध्य सुचिरान् ननु देहभाजां न जायन् न न ज्ञायते भगवतो गतिरित्यवद्यं नान्यत्वदस्ति भगवन् अपि तन्न शुद्धं माया गुणगतिकरात् यद् उरुर्विभाषि. Lord Brahma said, "O my Lord, today after many, many years of penance, I have come to know about you. Oh, how unfortunate the embodied living entities are that they are unable to know your personality. My Lord, you are the only knowable object because there is nothing supreme beyond you. If there is anything supposedly superior to you, it is not the absolute. You exist as the supreme by exhibiting the creative energy of matter." Mm. So here we see that Brahma is very amazingly is glorifying. He's telling that after long, long time of tapasya, now I have come to know you. And this embodied living entities, the living entities, who are going to come into this material world, no, they will be very, very unfortunate. They will not be able to have the same kind of understanding what I am having, or very few of them will have that, right? So, and he is telling that, oh Lord, you are the supreme, and everybody must understand you for their benefit, no? But unfortunate that they are not able to understand. Okay, purport. The highest peak of ignorance of the living entities who are conditioned by material bodies is that they are unaware of the supreme cause of cosmic manifestation. Different people have different theories regarding the supreme cause, but none of them are genuine. The only supreme cause is Vishnu, and the intervening impediment is the illusory energy of the Lord. The Lord has employed his wonderful material energy in manifesting many, many wonderful distractions in the material world, and the conditioned souls, illusioned by the same energy, are thus unable to know the supreme cause. The most stalwart scientists and philosophers, therefore, cannot uh, be accepted as wonderful. They only appear wonderful because they are instruments in the hands of illusory energy of the Lord. Very amazing statement. So, who are the scientists? Scientists are wonderful people, but then they are just the instruments in the hand of Lord's illusory energy, right? So, they are just the illusion is created. Some sessions before, we were discussing this particular example of a video game. So in a video game, if we see the player of the game, so if we are playing, so then we are outside the screen, and just by expressing our desire, through pressing few buttons, so many things are changing in the screen. So much is happening, and if you win the game, you will feel happy, and if you lose the game, you will feel sad. Whereas nothing has happened to you externally. Everything that is happening is within the screen that is happening, and then we get affected by that happiness or distress, right? So in the same way, the Lord's illusory energy is like that. We, the living entity, has nothing to do with the material energy. We are just expressing our desire, and material energy is doing everything, right? So in the video game also, you see, like, you just press few buttons, but you cannot forcibly change anything in the screen. If the program is written in a different way, so then no, it will just function in the way it is written, right? So in the same way, like, we see that the material nature is going to function in its own way, and no, we become affected by the actions and reactions of this material world, right? So that's a very nice this one. So these scientists are those who are playing like this very expertly the video game of the life, and the sadhus are the ones like who think that, okay, I've caught up into this game, I've got addicted to this game, I have to get out of this game, right? So they are the sadhus or the devotees are, they're trying to get de-addicted from the video game of the material life, right? So that's the position that they are in. Anyways, so under the illusion, the general mass of people deny the existence of the Supreme Lord and accept the foolish products of illusory energy as supreme. One can know the supreme cause, the personality of Godhead, by the causeless mercy of the Lord, which is bestowed upon Lord's pure devotees like Brahma and those in the disciplic succession. By acts of penance only was Lord Brahma able to see the Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, and by realization only could he understand the Lord as he is. Brahma was extremely satisfied upon observing the magnificent beauty and opulence of the Lord, and he admitted that nothing can be comparable to him. Only by penance can one appreciate the beauty and opulence of the Lord, and when one is acquainted with that beauty and opulence, he is no longer attracted by any other. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, Param Drishtva Nivartate. So it's very amazing paragraph where no very very interesting and important aspect of the Lord is mentioned. The Lord is very attractive, and his attractiveness and the beauty is beyond comparison. And then why are we not getting attracted to? So in the form of holy name, we are getting the association of the Lord every day. But why are we not getting attracted to the chanting process? Because no, it is only by penance one can appreciate the beauty and opulence of the Lord. Otherwise, people cannot appreciate the beauty and opulence of the Lord. So no, we have to do penance. And what is the penance that we are expected to do? No, we are expected to rise up early in the morning and then no, freshen up ourselves and then chant the names of the Lord, perform arati to the Lord, Mangal arati, and then no, serve the devotees and be happy in the association of devotees. So these are all the penances that are required, and then try our best to propagate the message of Krishna consciousness. And if we do this thing, so then by this penance, the Lord will be pleased, and once the Lord is pleased, then he will reveal himself. No, so Brahma performed tapasya for a long period of time, and after that, the Lord, when he is pleased, no, he revealed himself to the Lord Brahma. Right, so in the same way, if we also perform the penances and austerities to attain the Lord, so then we will definitely be able to have a glimpse of the Lord, like how Brahma is having. Okay, foolish human beings who do not endeavor to investigate the supreme beauty and opulence of the Lord are here condemned by Brahma. It is imperative that every human being try for such knowledge, and if anyone does not do so, his life is spoiled. Anything that is beautiful and opulent in the material sense is enjoyed by those living entities who are like crows. Crows always engage in picking at rejected garbage, whereas the white ducks or the swans, they do not mix with the crows. Rather, they take pleasure in the transparent lakes with lotus flowers surrounded by beautiful orchids. Both crows and ducks are undoubtedly birds by birth, but they are not of the same feather. No, they have different this one. So now the materialistic people interested in sense gratification, they are compared with crows. No, they always pick up those things which are rejected, by the saintly people. So what are the things that are rejected? The gross sense gratification is what is rejected, and the materialistic people, they take so much pleasure over there. So it's just like a crow is taking pleasure in its in picking up garbage. So it is also mentioned in the first canto of Bhagavatam as Vayasam Tirtham. No, it is called as Vayasam. Tirtham means a holy place, and Vayasam Tirtham means no holy place for crows. So where does the no, where does the crows congregate? The crows congregate in a place where there is filth and garbage, right? ठीक है. Text 2. रूपं यदेतद् अवबोधरसोदयेन सश्वन्निवृत्ततमस सदनुग्रहाय आदौ गृहीतम् अवतार शतैकबीजं यन्नाभिपद्मभवनान् अहमाविरासम्. The form which I see is eternally freed from material contamination and has advented to show mercy to the devotees as a manifestation of internal potency. This incarnation is the origin of many other incarnations, and I am born from the lotus flower grown from your navel home. Mm. So, what is the home of Lord Brahma? It is the navel of Lord Vishnu. Right? So, from there he is born. And then he's telling that, the form that I'm seeing is completely free of material contamination. In one of the slokas before, we saw that Brahmaji was kind of having that vision that this form of the Lord, nobody can approach this form of the Lord. Not even air, fire, sun, moon, nothing can approach. None of the material elements can approach the form of the Lord. So that means the Lord's form is made completely in the spiritual way and transcendental to the material world. Right? Okay, purport. The three deities, Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwara, Shiva, the executive heads of the three modes of material nature, passion, goodness, and ignorance, are all generated from Garbhadakashayi Vishnu, who is described herein by Brahma. From Kshiradakashayi Vishnu, many Vishnu incarnations expands at different ages in the duration of cosmic manifestation. So now we see this is Brahma. We know that how Brahma comes into existence by the lotus that has come from the navel of Vishnu. And how does Lord Shiva takes birth? Lord Shiva comes into existence by, at least in the material world, by the anger of Brahma. When Brahma becomes angry at four Kumaras, so then the result is Lord Shiva is born out of his anger, right? So in essence, all this is coming from Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. And even the Vishnu form, no, Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh, the Vishnu what is mentioned there is generally the Paramatma or Shirodakshai Vishnu we can take into consideration. So they are all brought about by Garbhodakashai Vishnu. So he is the root or source of all these three personalities, Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwara. Okay, so from Shirodakshai Vishnu, many Vishnu incarnations expand at different ages in the duration of cosmic manifestation. They are expanded only for the transcendental happiness of the pure devotees. The incarnations of Vishnu who appear at different ages and times are never to be compared to the conditioned souls. The Vishnu Tattvas are not to be compared to the deities like Brahma and Shiva, nor are they on the same level. Anyone who compares them is called Pashandi or infidel. So Pashandi means an atheist. No, he is called as Pashandi. Who is a Pashandi here? No, anyone who compares the names of the Supreme Lord with Brahma and Shiva. So then, or any other demigods for that matter. So okay, these are also same like God, same like Vishnu. So then we become no Pashandi. We become a offender, or this one we become an atheist. Okay, tamasaha mentioned here in the herein is the material nature, and the spiritual nature has completely separate existence from tamaha. Therefore, spiritual nature is called avabodha rasa or avarodha rasa. Avarodha rasa, avarodha means that which completely nullifies. In the transcendence, there is no chance of material contact by any means. Brahma is the first living being, and therefore he mentions his birth from the lotus flower generated from the abdomen of Garbhodakashai Vishnu. Right? So in this way, we see that Brahma is the first living being created, and he comes from the lotus flower, of the Garbhodakashai Vishnu. Text 3, Nata Param uh, नाथ परम परमयत् भवत स्वरूपम आनंदमात्रम अविकल्पम अविद अविद्वर्चः पश्यामि विश्व सृजमेक अविशम आत्मन भूतेन्द्रियात्मक मदस्त उपाश्रितोस्मि. O my Lord, I do not see a form superior to your present form of eternal bliss and knowledge. And in your impersonal Brahman effulgence in the spiritual sky, there is no occasional change and no deterioration of internal potency. I surrender unto you because, whereas I am proud of my material body and senses, your Lordship is the cause of the cosmic manifestation, and yet you are untouched by matter. So Brahmaji is telling that your form is of Sachit Ananda, eternal bliss and knowledge. So in this, the impersonal Brahman effulgence or the Brahma Jyoti is also emanating from the Supreme Lord. And if Brahma Jyoti is emanating from Supreme Lord, then everything that exists in the whole creation floats on the Brahma Jyoti. So that is also really very great. And now we see that Brahma is telling, I have done a very, very small act and I'm feeling very proud about it. No, I'm just trying to construct the universe and I'm feeling proud about it. But no, he's addressing the Lord. You are so wonderful, you are so amazing. No, you have created everything in the whole world, but still you are so uh, down to earth, no, so to say. So no, he's untouched by matter. So he's untouched by the material qualities like pride, envy, greed, and things like that. The Lord is completely free of all these things. Purport: as stated in Bhagavad Gita 18:55, Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan yachasmi tattvataha, the Supreme Personality of Godhead can only be partially known and only by the process of devotional service to the Lord. So, why partially known? Always we have been giving this example of a man approaching a reservoir of water out of thirst. So, he can only partially drink, he cannot drink over the entire ocean. So, in the same way, no, the living entities here in the material world, no, we all try to understand the Lord, but then we can understand the Lord only partially. We cannot know him fully. Lord Brahma became aware that the Supreme Lord Krishna has many, many eternal blissful forms of knowledge. He has described such explanation of the Supreme Lord uh, Govinda in Brahma Samhita 533 as follows. Advaitam Achyutam Anadim Ananta Rupam Madhyam Purana Purusham Navayovanam Cha Vedeshu Durlabham Adurlabham Atma Bhakto Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is non dual and infallible. He is the original cause of all causes, even though he expands in many, many forms. Although he is the oldest personality, he is ever youthful, right? So, Nava Yavvanam cha, ever youthful, and then unaffected by old age. The Supreme Personality of Godhead cannot be known by academic wisdom of the Vedas. One has to approach the devotee of the Lord to understand him. The only way to understand the Lord as he is by devotional service to the Lord or by approaching a devotee of the Lord who always has been in the heart of, who, uh, uh, who always has the Lord in his heart. So like that, so that's how we can actually get the understanding. So by seva to the Lord and to the devotees, so we will be able to attract the mercy of the Lord, and then we will be able to know things properly. By devotional perfection, one can understand that the impersonal Brahma Jyoti is only a partial representation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, and that the three Purusha expansion in the material creation are his plenary portions. In the spiritual sky of the Brahma Jyoti, there is no change of various kalpas or millenniums, and there are no creative activities in the Vaikuntha worlds. The influence of time is conspicuous by its absence. So, this is also another very interesting subject, where in the spiritual world there is no influence of time. Time doesn't dictate anything. No, time just facilitates Lord's pastimes, but time doesn't have any dictation in the Vaikuntha world. Okay, the influence of time is conspicuous by its absence. The rays of the transcendental body of the Lord, the unlimited Brahma Jyoti, are undeterred by the influence of material energy. In the material world also, the initial creator is the Lord himself. He brings about the creation of Brahma, who becomes a subsequent creator, empowered by the Lord. Okay, okay. So hmm, Hare Krishna. So here we will try to pause.